Live from the Dr. Jerry Henderson Radio Complex, it's time for Card Guys. And now, here's your host, Anthony Schulte.
Good morning. Thank you, Michael, for the intro as always, and welcome to Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk, Season 4, Episode 3. Coming up today, the Lions have been eliminated from the playoffs, losing to the Commanders last Saturday, and we discuss. With that loss, Ben Johnson has jumped ship to a division foe, and we break that all down. The Pistons are back to their winning ways, taking down the West's number 2 seed in what's becoming a heated rivalry. NFL Championship weekend is here. We get you prepared for a great Sunday of NFL football. And the Red Wings, well, they've lost 3 straight. We'll dive into that as well. I'm Anthony Schulte, and joining me as always is my man, maybe a little frozen as well, Mr. Ryan Donnelly.
I think he's frozen.
Because he had to walk to class, or he had to walk to the show today.
Yes,
Hi, guys.
he did.
Oh, sorry. I unfroze.
Oh, hey, Ryan.
Hope y'all's wet.
What?
Hope y'all's Wednesday's go. Just kidding. I'm trying to do a Frozen joke, but hope y'all's Wednesday is warm. It's here in Mount Pleasant. It's -2 degrees. Feels like -21, and we all had to walk here. My
we also have class today.
My nostrils are still frozen, and I've been inside for about 20 minutes. I bundled up. Every body porcelain of my body is covered.
Thank you.
And oh my God, Anthony!
So you gave me the layup, man. You gave me a wide open layup to the rim. I'm not Brandon Knight. I'm not going to botch that.
The show off. Okay.
Also, I missed the memo. I'm not wearing green today.
This was not coordinated.
No, this was not coordinated.
But yeah, hope y'all's Wednesday was good. Hope your MLK was good. Hope your 5-day weekend was good. We're back. We're cold, and we have a very positive show today.
I had about 20 minutes into sitting down here before the show, I had a burning sensation in my chest. A burning cold sensation in my chest.
Oh.
So that's just how cold it is today. And one of my beef jerky pieces was frozen like a brick. So it's a little nippy out there.
A little bit.
A little nippy out there. And right next to me, Mr. Michael Rosenkranz.
Hope you guys' Wednesday's going good. January 18th was a day that most of us in the state of Michigan want to forget. But today's just a show where you guys can have your therapy session today, and we're going to rip the Band-Aid off on a lot of this stuff. So let's get it going.
Let's get it going. Let's start with our 3 stars. We'll start with the frozen man over there, Ryan.
Okay, I'm done with that joke. It's kind of getting stupid.
It's going to be a recurring theme throughout the show.
My negative star of the week, because I didn't do one Monday, it's the cold weather.
Yes.
It's below freezing temperatures. Yesterday was below 20 degrees. Today it's supposed to be in between below 20 and 25. Not good. We still got to go to class.
Yes, we do.
That's my negative star
We
of
have
the
to
week.
get our academics on.
Yes. Everywhere in this state, it's cold. Anyways.
Yeah, everywhere in America it's cold.
Everywhere, except if you live in Miami.
Yeah, Miami's in the balmy 60 degrees. They're out at the beach today.
Which is warm. I could wear a button-up, little Hawaiian shirt and shorts in Miami right now.
Seriously.
If it was 61 right now, I'd be in shorts.
Exactly.
Shout out my grandma really quick, who's in Florida, and she let us know gladly that I had 78-degree weather today in sunny Florida.
Oh, lucky grandma.
Grandma, I love
Must
you.
be nice.
I wish I was in Florida right now so I can stay warm.
That's a solid 90-degree difference.
No, seriously. Seriously.
And that's wild to think about. It's a 90-degree
90
difference
It is.
between the beginning and ending of I-75.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
like going down the yellow brick road where it's frozen solid and you get down where you get to the Emerald City and it's warm and nice. Anyways, I don't like the warm weather. That's off topic.
You don't like the warm
weather?
weather?
I don't like warm wet temperatures. I'd rather be cold than hot. But anyways.
Okay, 3 stars.
Anyways, my 3 stars. My 3rd star is CMU's own Brian Jonga.
Beat my bongas for Brian
Jonga.
Jonga.
Anyways, he's my 3rd star. Yesterday against the loss against Ball State, 15.7 rebounds in about 20 minutes. He was putting up productive numbers towards the beginning of the second half. It's good to see. Brian Jonga is becoming one of my favorite players on this team this year. and I love the production that we're seeing from him. My second star goes to the captain, Dylan Larkin, from the losing Red Wings, who on Thursday, we got to go about less than a week back, on Thursday, against the reigning Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, 2 goals, 1 assist, and 3 points with a plus-minus of 1. He's been putting up not many points. Since then, he's only put up 2 points. We'll talk about the Red Wings later on in the show, but that game, he was figuring stuff out. He looked great. My first star, I'm giving it to C.J. McCollum of the New Orleans Pelicans. Trade him, who to us, who on Monday against the Utah Jazz, 45 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks.
Wow.
As like a 6'3" guard.
Wow.
Right.
That's like 34.
That's crazy. An aging veteran who put up those numbers, man. Get
Especially
him out
with
of
the
New
blocks
Orleans.
and the rebounds. That's something you just don't see.
Right. Get this man out of New Orleans. Seriously.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 stars.
All right, Michael.
All right, for my 3 stars, my third star, I'm going to kick it off with a little bit of hockey as well. I'm going to go with Matt Rempe from the New York Rangers. He finally got his first goal of the season last night against the utter demolition of the Ottawa Senators. Finally got his first goal. He only took 2 penalties, 4 penalty minutes. It was a beautiful, beautiful stretch pass right to him down the left side, and just had all sorts of daylight in front of him. Made a nice move on Ottawa's goaltender and roofed it on the backhand. So, feels good to finally get that first goal out of the way for Matt Rempe. My second star, going to CMU basketball, Quentin Heddy for the Chippewas. It was a tough loss yesterday to Ball State, but he had a career-high 17... Breakout game, absolutely. Career-high 17 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, plus-minus of 4. He looked really, really good out there yesterday. He even went down with a bit of an injury. He got himself rattled a little bit, but he got right back up, and he really did some clutch moments in that game for us. So really good to see him have a breakout game. And my first star is going to go to Jalen Duren from the Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
Or should I say Pistons? I can't offend this guy over here.
They're
No
not
offense,
the
'cause
Pictons.
it's
They're not the Pictons anymore.
True.
Yeah, because we're not going to have a pick this year.
Exactly. Jalen Duren, 16 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. He looked like a completely different ball player yesterday. Or not yesterday, 2 days ago against the Rockets. Feels good for him to get that performance on 100% from the field.
Yes,
Those are my
8 of 8
3
shooting.
stars.
I think he is the second player in NBA history to reach those such minimums in a game next to Mitchell Robinson, who did it back in March of 2022.
Oh, wow.
NBA history.
Yeah.
Never been a player to reach those minimums.
Wow.
That includes Wilt.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
Big game for Jalen Duren. Really good to see him playing well. All right, my 3 stars. We're going to start off 3, kind of more of the same. Marcus Sasser gets my 3rd star. We've been saying his name a lot. There was a stretch in the second half where Cade was on the bench. I think it was in the start of the 4th quarter. Cade played most of the 3rd quarter, had an incredible performance in the 3rd quarter, really separated the Pistons from the Rockets. And Marcus Sasser came in. And now the burning question of that quarter was going to be, how do we survive without Cade on the floor? Because as this team has proven throughout the year, when Cade's not on the floor, we struggle. Sasser comes in, plays some incredible minutes. Doesn't get the stats you're looking for here. He didn't have the stats that warrant a star or a standout game when it comes to stats. But Marcus Sasser, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 3 of 7 from the field. Nothing flashy, but he came in and he had productive minutes in that 4th quarter. We look at his 4th quarter stats. 5 points, 2 of 3 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3 in those 6 minutes that he played in the 4th quarter. Impressive stuff. He's not averaging a lot. He's not putting up flashy stats, but he's getting the job done when he needs to. And that's all we can ask from him as a young player, kind of stepping into more of a winning role. So Marcus Sasser gets my 3rd star. My 2nd star is my king, my Pookie, the chosen one, just a kid from Akron, LeBron Raymond James. Incredible game last night in 36 minutes, 21 points, 13 assists, 10 rebounds, a plus-minus of 19, 2 steals, a block, and a poster on Jonas Valanciunas. incredible game from LeBron. Not much more to say. Greatest player of all time. He's continuing to prove that. Triple-double at the age of 40. At the age of 40, I'll probably not be doing anything close to a triple-double in NBA games, so there's LeBron James for you. That's my second star. And my first star, as always, is my guy, Cade Cunningham. I called him as a star in the first quarter. I knew he was going to have a good game. It's against Jalen Green, rivalry game. Cade Cunningham, 32 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, shot 54.5% from the field, +9 of a plus-minus, 3 of 5 from 3. I'd be remiss not to mention the 10 turnovers, something he's got to work on, taking care of the ball. But when you're a playmaker and you're the only playmaker and the one playmaker the entire team relies on for the whole game, you're going to make some turnovers. However, as much as I love Cade, I can hold him accountable. A lot of those turnovers were stupid turnovers and bad passes. I can admit that. He's got to work on it. I'm sure he will. But 10 turnovers, not ideal from Cade. But we still got the win by double digits. We'll talk about them later in the show. The moment we've been waiting for.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
The Detroit Lions fall to the Washington Commanders in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs after going 15-2 in the regular season. They fall 45-31, as you can see on the bottom of your screen on the score ticker. A few stats to point off. Jared Goff, 313 yards for the 3-1-3, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions and a fumble.
Terrible.
Jahmyr Gibbs, 104 yards on 14 carries, just 14, and 2 touchdowns. That's about it. The offense, while putting up 31 points, why do I keep doing this? Sorry. The offense, while putting up 31 points, it still seemed to be a little off. Does that make sense? Did it feel a little off to you guys?
A little, yeah.
A little off. Jared Goff made some terrible, terrible mistakes. The overthrow, interception. The fumble, I don't know if you can really blame Goff for the fumble because it was a missed block, but still fumbled the ball. 3 interceptions, unacceptable in a divisional game, just straight up. Do I believe Jared Goff's a bad quarterback? No. Have I given up belief in Jared Goff? No. But he had a very bad game in the game that mattered most. It doesn't matter what he did in the regular season.
Nope.
It matters what you do in the divisional round. Not that great of a game from Jared Goff. We'll talk more about Ben Johnson in a little bit. He's a separate topic. But it seemed as if these coordinators were a little focused on something else this week.
Yeah.
A little focused on something in the future and not the right now. What did we say back on last Wednesday's show? Focus on this week.
Yep.
Focus on the week. They didn't. Now, obviously, we don't know what happened in Allen Park. Maybe they didn't, just things didn't go well. But from the looks of it, this just didn't feel like a Lions game from this new era of Lions football. It didn't feel like it. Didn't feel like it.
It felt like an SOL game for sure, but we're not the SOL.
I don't think SOL game. I just think it was just an off game from everybody.
I mean, not what I saw.
Same old Lions would have lost by like 40.
Agreed.
So.
Sure, whatever. I don't think the turnover was on Goff. That was, again, you said it best. I think it was just really bad blocking. I think
fumble?
Was, yeah. Who had the missed block? Was it? It was. I know it was a left guard.
Was it Mahogany?
I think it was
think
it was Mahogany or Decker who had the missed block.
I think I remember seeing it as Mahogany.
I remember it was either a left guard or a left tackle. It was on the left side, the fumble. But man, I'm disappointed. Obviously, I wanted to see the Lions go this far. I'll have my thoughts about Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn in a little bit. Defense looks shaky. Offense looks shaky. I have a complaint, and that was that Jamison Williams' idiotic throw when we were down a possession and a half.
Dumb.
That was absolutely stupid. Why would you try a trick play when you're down 10?
Not only that, but why would you throw the ball away?
Why would you throw the ball away? Exactly.
For a guy who's never thrown the ball in college or in the pros.
Why are we running a trick play for J-Mo to throw the ball when you have Amon-Ra, who's at least completed a passing touchdown?
Or David Montgomery, too. He played quarterback in high school. David Montgomery or Amon-Ra St. Brown would have thrown the ball out of bounds. You get J-Mo
trying to be a hero,
trying to play hero ball, and he throws a pick. If you took a Jamison Williams pick in your parlay, you just won serious money.
But I think another thing, now that you mentioned J-Mo, I think Goff was trying to force it to J-Mo a little bit. Remember that interception in the end zone?
Yeah.
When Goff got absolutely read like a book when he was trying to force it to J-Mo in the end zone? I think...
It was Decker who had the missed block.
Oh, was it Decker?
Yeah.
My apologies, Christian Mahogany.
Nope. It was both. Hold on. We're watching the fumble right now.
Fumblerooski,
It was Decker.
It was Decker?
It was Decker who missed the block.
I knew it was a left guard, but yeah.
Decker's been off.
He's
recently.
been, I don't want to say he's been bad, but he's...
Not worth the extension. I could say that Mahogany's better for the money.
Mahogany.
Just saying.
I think next year you have to start Christian Mahogany. When one of the offensive linemen is down, I normally get worried, but Mahogany has proved that he can step up. It's that next man up mentality. And he's good. He's really good on the left side of that offensive line. I think he deserves a starting job, whether it's here in Detroit or anywhere else.
Yeah, he's
kind of proved himself that he could be a worthy starter. Mm-hmm. He's probably the best backup guard or lineman in the league, in my eyes, and it's his rookie year.
He's saved us many of times.
Yeah, exactly.
Filled in a very important role, that offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, defense looked terrible. When Amik went down, I kind of knew Terry McLaurin was going to go off and have a big day.
Well, not only that, but Terrion dealing with an injury. Carlton already out. Emmanuel Mosley's played 2 snaps for us in 2 years. Averaging a snap a year is diabolical, by the way. The defense, look, you score 31 points, you got to win games. This is the first time in NFL history that a team has scored 31 points in a playoff game and lost, by the way. You score 31 points, you have to win the game in the playoffs. Your defense failed you. As much as we might want to say, the offense didn't look good, the offense still produced 31 points.
That's true.
Gibbs still went off. Why are we not using Gibbs? 14 carries compared
Jameer Gibbs will be the
Exactly.
Jameer Gibbs will be the running back one next year,
easily.
Going forward.
The defense failed. I don't know what was going on. The defense failed. Was it injuries? Maybe. But we had some guys back. Was it injuries? You could blame the injuries, but we were just getting cut up. And you know what? Props to Jaden Daniels.
I'm giving Jaden
Washington
Daniels
deserves all their flowers.
He would have been a star for me. He would have been a star for me if we didn't lose to him because of just the surgical, I think is a great way to put it. He was great. He was phenomenal. He put the ball where he needed to put the ball. Poised, calm, under pressure as a rookie in the playoffs to win. Incredible. I want them to go all the way.
Here's Jaden Daniels' stats for you guys on Saturday. 22 for 31, 299 yards and 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Jaden Daniels.
He played insane.
He looks like he's been playing in this league longer than a year. This Washington, y'all are going to be good.
JD5 is RG3.
A
new
long,
RG3.
long time. This Commanders team is the best young team in football. Right
and
now.
I think I said it on a show earlier in the year, or I said it before the show even started. I was like, wait, Washington has a lot of talent on their roster now. I don't know if I said it just to you guys outside of the show or I said it during the show. But I said, Washington has a lot of talent. They have a lot of talent on their roster. They had some sneaky additions like Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu,
Austin Eckler,
Mikey Sanderstill,
Marshawn
Lattimore. They had, and I don't know why people weren't talking about him more. Look at all those additions; those are all Pro Bowl-esque additions. Mikey Sanderstill, obviously a rookie, but he had a hell of a year.
Heck, he had 2 picks against the Lions.
Yeah, he was especially in the playoffs. He's been great. Yeah, pick in the first playoff game. I'm pretty sure they played against Tampa. All these additions, nobody was really talking about him at the start of the year. Nobody was really saying anything about Washington because, it's just Washington. They're in the big, bad NFC East. And now you've got a division rivalry here in the championship round between Washington and Philly. I think Washington's a great story. If there's one team I want to win, it's Washington. Because one, it makes our loss look a little better.
Yeah.
And 2, I don't want to see the Eagles win anything. Other than Saquon. Saquon's the only guy I want to see win a championship.
I'm dreaming of a Commanders-Bills Super Bowl. That's
what we want.
That's what we want.
But what we're going to get is
Chiefs and Eagles
Part 2.
Super Bowl 57 rematch.
Will Sirianni cry again during the national anthem?
Probably. I'm fully mentally preparing myself for a Chiefs repeat because that's going to happen.
It's just what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen. I hope next year's logo for the Super Bowl has a little bit of Honolulu blue in it. Have you seen the theory?
Yep. I've seen
where
the Super
every
Bowl
single
theory.
Super Bowl logo, like the past 4 or 5 years, each color in the logo represents a team that's going to make it to the Super Bowl. And the colors this year were red and green. Chiefs, Eagles. And guess who are in the NFC and AFC championship games? Chiefs and Eagles.
Yep.
They're winning. The Chiefs are winning the Super Bowl, and I'm mentally preparing myself for that. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. I'm rooting for Jaden Daniels. I thought he wasn't going to be great coming out of college, but he proved me wrong by a million. I got to give props to the Commanders, their ownership, their leadership. Dan Quinn is looking like Coach of the Year. I mean, if he makes it to the Super Bowl, Dan Quinn deserves Coach of the Year in my eyes now, not Kevin O'Connell. But
it shouldn't be O'Connell or Campbell.
I think it should be.
It should be Dan Quinn.
It should be Dan Quinn or Jim Harbaugh in my eyes. But I think Dan Quinn deserves Coach of the Year. Magic Johnson is doing great as owner.
Yeah, I forgot that he bought the team.
I love what they're doing in Washington, man, and they're proving everybody wrong.
Yeah, all the bandwagons too. All the bandwagons are gonna hop off this train right now.
For the Lions?
Yeah.
Oh, you brought that up.
Yep.
This is my final point to you. This is to the annoying Lions fans. You say, next year's our year. We'll get them next year. My question to you is, will you be here next year?
Have you jumped off?
Have
already?
you jumped off?
I've seen
because
people
if you
already
jumped
jump
off,
off.
your butt's not coming back on this bandwagon. I'm staying on this bandwagon. Even Dan Campbell said our Super Bowl window isn't closed.
It's
and
not closed, but it's slowly every year going to start to close more and more and more.
This conference is getting harder. This division got harder now that Ben Johnson's on the Bears. I'm not saying the Super Bowl window is completely closed. It's
not
waning.
It's
year by year.
starting to close
this team
a
is
little
going to be good for years to come, but the Super Bowl window is going to be
as long
good.
as we have Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, we should
Sheila
be fine.
Ford Hamp and Rob Wood will be totally fine.
We should be fine.
So Lions fans, real Lions fans, thank you for sticking with us. Bandwagons, I don't want to see your butt on the bandwagon. Hop off right now because. And
They already have. I've already seen it on social media.
Bandwagon fans are so cocky, too, watching highlight videos from 97.1. The top comment was, oh, you act like the Vikings were this insanely good team. We're about to wipe the floor with the Commanders. That aged well, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's room for smack talk, but then you got to deal with the music if you're going to smack talk.
You got to
It's
back
just what
it up,
is.
too.
All right, last little thing that I've noticed before we move on to Ben Johnson. Michigan.
The cold weather?
No. The football team. The 3 years ago, lost to an underdog. Then, the next year, wait, how did that go? Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking
The
about.
Lions lost. The Lions were underdogs against the Niners.
Yeah.
And Michigan lost to, I think, Georgia. The next year, the Lions got upset by the Commanders, and then Michigan got upset by TCU.
Yep.
And then the next year, Michigan won the national championship. So
I thought I could
Lions
do that without
follow-
looking up the thing on Instagram.
I know what you're talking about because I saw it on Tyler's story yesterday.
Yeah.
But the Lions, based off that story, the Lions could be the Super Bowl champions.
I was trying to think of it. I was trying to think of it without having to look it up off my dome, but that obviously didn't
Fair
work.
enough. Oh, Michael, you can go after this, but
Yeah, first they were underdogs, then they got upset, then they won it all.
yep. The Jared Goff chants are dead.
They're
Rejoice, America! I'm clapping.
Yeah.
The Jared Goff
gotta
chants
stop.
at LCA are dead. Thank you.
can't happen anymore.
That's the one positive I'll take from this loss. That Jared Goff chants outside of Ford Field, gone. And I've never been more excited.
After his performance and our loss, you can't do it anymore at non-Lions games. Look, you got away with it because we were winning. We were in the playoffs. Jared Goff was playing good.
Ain't here.
Now we're neither. Now none of that exists. If I hear one more Jared Goff chant when Cade Cunningham, a man that is leading a Pistons team back to relevance, when Dylan Larkin or Patrick Kane have the puck on their stick on a breakaway, I don't want to be hearing Jared Goff.
I'm tired.
By some 15-year-old kid that doesn't know what he's talking about.
When Riley Green is in the batter's box and it's a 2-2 count and we're in the ninth inning and there's a guy on third, I don't want to hear Jared Goff.
Improbable
Jared
Tigers
Goff.
playoff run, and we're too hyper-focused on chanting Jared Goff. Look, it's old. It's done. Leave it in this season. Leave it. If you want to do it at Lions games, sure, leave it. That's all.
Michael, go ahead.
Try to rip the Band-Aid off of this. I won't hit on this too much, but this Lions loss hurts. It hurts. I would say the defense didn't even show up, but you stopped them on 4th and short when Marcus Mariota decided to take a snap.
Well, that was on the Commanders. That was such a...
That wasn't on us. We got lucky there. He literally fell down.
He fell down, and then you just marched back down the field for a 6-play, 71-yard drive, and was fantastic. And then next possession, you hold them to a field goal. Zane Gonzalez from 47 yards out.
Fumble started it.
And then the fumble just started.
Fumblerooski!
Then the fumble just started it. The turnover, and then when they cash it in, was nervousing on an 11-play, 78-yard drive. Lions march right down the field, 7-play, 70 yards. Washington comes right back, 3 plays, 70 yards.
That was that
with
big
that deep
Scary
ball,
Terry.
I think, that was the screen to Scary Terry. Yep.
Untouched.
Untouched.
That
And
was a good play
the
design.
pick six. When the pick six happened, I was just like,
killed us.
we're in trouble.
That killed us.
We're in trouble.
And that was such a bad throw. Jared Goff, we pay you this much money. You got to make those throws. And look, I still like Goff. I still think he's our quarterback. I still support Goff. But you got to hold these players accountable. I held Cade accountable. We hold Riley Green accountable when he messes up. We hold Patrick Kane accountable. We hold players
Tom
accountable.
McClellan.
Even
Tom McClellan was like, yeah, one of my players sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call him out for it.
You have to hold. You can like a player. You can support a player, but you have to hold them accountable. You have to hold Jared Goff accountable for his mistakes in this game. You have to. And that pick, it turned into a touchdown. Now, the defense didn't even get a chance to hold him to a field goal. It just turned into a touchdown. Terrible throw. Absolutely terrible throw.
Whenever you throw a ball in zone coverage higher than you need to, you're in a lot of trouble. Quan Martin took advantage of that and returned it for a pick six. Offense scored 31 points. You cannot win in the NFL without defense.
Doesn't help that our offense only scored 3 points in the fourth quarter.
Exactly.
And we gave up
defense,
14.
I don't want to sugarcoat anything. Your offense scored 31 points. You didn't even show up on Saturday.
It doesn't help that the
defense
gave up 14 points in that fourth quarter, and we only scored a field goal.
Exactly.
That's a big thing. Fourth quarter, when it comes down to it, defense folded, offense folded. Simple.
Exactly.
It's a tail of the box score. You can say that I'm negative. You can say that, oh, you're overreacting. No, it's the box score says if you're outscored 14-3, your defense failed and your offense failed, and it was a bad mixture in the fourth quarter. That's just what happened.
And we'll get to them in just a second. But why are we not giving the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs against the 30th ranked rush defense in the NFL?
He had 104 yards on 14 carries.
Dude was going off.
Hold on, what does that average out to?
Dude was going off. That's probably about what? Maybe 7-ish yards a carry?
Yeah, 7.4.
Jared Goff threw 40 passes, by the way. How that blows my mind.
That game
the same
plan-
mistake that you made against Tampa Bay is because you threw the ball for more than 40 times. And you
They
had
threw that
2
for like
picks.
50-something times
I know.
against Tampa.
And you didn't run the ball.
40 times against. We would have won if we pounded the rock. I said on Wednesday's show we would win this game if we pound the damn rock, and we didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Ridiculous. Absolutely
Real
ridiculous.
quick, Michael, we got to move on.
Yeah, we got to move on. Loss hurts. Game plan was atrocious. Defense was atrocious. Offense scored 31 points. You can't win in the NFL without defense. It's only going to get harder from here. Super Bowl window's open, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. And
That road schedule.
I don't want that road schedule
is
to
a nightmare.
gauntlet next year, and I don't want to be that guy to point out superstitions. 31 points are the same number we lost to San Francisco. 34-31. We lost to the Commanders. 45-31.
Personally, I don't believe in superstitions.
I don't want to believe in superstitions either, but it was just a haunting theme that I saw in the loss yesterday.
Yeah, it's just a crazy coincidence. All right, the Lions take a tough loss. We'll get into some off-season stuff as the show progresses throughout our season. Our season is not over yet. Yeah. However, some news came out in the past couple days. Ben Johnson, hired by the Chicago Bears to be their head coach. This guy, and I've said this to you guys. When have you seen Ben Johnson lead a group of men on the sidelines?
On the sidelines, none, but in the locker room, I saw a video of him, and he said, I love you guys. That's all I said.
Yeah, so Aaron Glenn, whenever his defense makes a mistake, whenever something bad happens, he either goes to that player, rips him a new one, or it gets them all together, and he leads that group, and he fixes it. That's just what you see on the sideline. Ben Johnson doesn't do that. He stands there with a pen in his mouth saying, hey, let's throw a screen pass and then a hook and ladder and then a whoop-de-doo to J-Mo and then a 60-yard touchdown bomb to Jared Goff. Something like that. The fact that you spent the week leading up to your divisional game taking interviews, both Glenn and Johnson, taking interviews, building a coaching staff. Ben Johnson already has most of his coaching staff built.
Yep.
You're building a coaching staff, you're taking interviews, and then we lose the way we did. There's a problem there. I think the NFL has to eliminate the ability to interview coaches who are still playing, who are still in the postseason. That should be gone. I think that is that's just bad news everywhere. I know it's always been, the thing where, if you're in the playoffs and you're a coordinator, you're probably getting interviewed. I don't like it. It takes your focus away from where your focus needs to be. And Ben Johnson's focus, again, I don't know. I'm not in Allen Park. I don't know the truth. This is all speculation. But I have a feeling he was focused on his future coaching job instead of the game at hand. Now, obviously, they probably game planned. They probably had their whole game plan. I'm not oblivious to that. But obviously more time was spent on future plans than the game plan.
It seems like it. I think the NFL should implicate a rule where instead of, teams interviewing during the playoffs, it should be when your team is eliminated.
Yes.
That's when you should reach out, because your team should focus on winning the Super Bowl instead of how much money can I make. Ben Johnson, I love you, dude. I really do, man. You are probably the best offensive coordinator to come out of Detroit probably ever. Despite not winning anything, you won us 2 playoff games, and we haven't done that in 30 years.
We got some news, Lions news. Lions defensive line coach Terrell Williams, who worked with Mike Vrabel in Tennessee from 2018 to 2023, is leaving Detroit to become the Patriots' defensive coordinator.
Oh, my God.
So we lost their D-line coach.
Well,
okay.
Linebackers coach, welcome to be
Shep. We have to promote Shep to DC. We have to. I think
Shepard
either that or you hire Saleh.
Yeah, I think Saleh makes the most sense. He's from Detroit. He's from Detroit. What was the stat I saw? Robert Saleh. He's from Detroit. He has a Dan Campbell-like attitude. He has connections to Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
I think Robert Saleh, if Glenn leaves, which he probably will,
he's leaving.
Will make the most sense. Saleh or Shepard, and I want Mark Brunell to step up and be the OC.
Or Hank Fraley.
Sure.
He's beloved in that locker room.
Yeah, sure. Ben Johnson, like I said, I love you, dude. He took us, him and Glenn and Campbell, is taking us to places we've never been to, like the NFC Championship. But, man, going to a division rival, it hurts a little bit.
Yeah, that stinks.
Especially because now he has toys to play with, like Caleb Williams and Romeo Dunze and Keenan Allen and DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift. Man, he's gonna have fun with that offense, and I can't wait to see what he does. But I can't wait to beat you twice a year.
Michael?
Ben Johnson spent 6 seasons with the Lions.
6?
Yeah, he was a tight ends coach before he was promoted to offensive coordinator.
He was?
Yeah, tight ends coach.
Tight ends coach.
I had no idea.
Yep. So Ben Johnson spent 6 years with the Lions. And what I will not tolerate from bandwagon fans, and not that you guys are doing it, is Ben Johnson slander. He did good things for us.
He did good things.
Him.
He was a good offensive coordinator.
I'm just saying, for all the bandwagon fans out there who want to go to war with that guy.
He was a good offensive coordinator. I can see it. I see it both ways. I see it as a respect him for what he did for you, but also you're kind of upset that his mind was in a different place, and he went to a division rival 3 days after you just lost in the divisional round. Mm-hmm. I see both sides. I'm not taking a side with either one. I'm really not, because I really could care less about Ben Johnson right now. I'm more focused on who our new offensive coordinator is going to be, and I'm just focused on the future, not focused on the past. I could care less about Ben Johnson, honestly, at this point. I appreciate him for what he did, but also kind of sucks he went to a rival.
No,
I
it
can see
does.
both sides.
I have that same mindset. I mean, I'm more appreciative about Ben Johnson. Like, I know that he's gone for a division rival. You can say whatever you want about him. I just can't wait to beat him twice a year. I'm just saying, he's done lots of stuff with us. Best offensive coordinator I've ever seen come for this team. Best offensive coordinator in football. He's taking us to heights that we've never been, along with Glenn and Campbell. I'm appreciative of Ben Johnson. To the people that say that Ben Johnson sucks, you're wrong.
There's this thing.
They're completely wrong. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But what boils my blood is how Lions fans want to go to war with him. You guys are ridiculous. I think even hypocritical in a way. If you were in Ben Johnson's shoes, getting paid a bag to become a head coach of a not-so-good team, but have the potential to turn it around with all the talent, you'd go there. You would go there.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it hurts that he's going to a division rival. But it's the reality in the NFL.
It's the business. It's football.
It's football.
It's the business.
It's football. And while I do agree that, yes, maybe his head was not focused on the game, I just think it's not a good notion to go for.
People are just too hyper-focused on Ben Johnson. Oh, we're going to lose all of our offensive magic. Oh, we're going to lose everything. Dude, who cares? This is something I saw. I will give him credit. 313 Gridiron on Instagram. This is an incredible thing that he brought up here. Back in 2021, Anthony Lynn was our play caller for 9 games. Here's Jared Goff's stats. 220 completions, 333 attempts, 2,109 yards, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 83.2 QBR. With Campbell, Dan Campbell calling plays. That we didn't win a game, by the way, with Anthony Lynn. Dan Campbell calling plays. Second half of that season. 112 completions, 161 attempts, 1,136 yards in 5 games. 11 TDs, 2 interceptions, 109.7 QBR. Mm-hmm. Campbell brought up Ben Johnson and taught him everything he knows. I feel like people aren't giving Dan Campbell credit here. They're saying, oh, he's just a meathead. He just knows how to rile up a locker room. He doesn't know how to call plays.
He's a good coach.
He is an incredible coach. They're saying he's built by his coordinators. He built his coordinators. He promoted from within, and he built, especially his offensive coordinator. He built his coordinators. He taught Ben Johnson everything he knows. I'm sure you could go up to Ben and be like, hey, who taught you everything you know? He'd say Dan Campbell. Because Dan Campbell took him from a tight ends coach to a premier coordinator to a premier head coaching prospect. And that is, he didn't learn that on his own. Ben Johnson didn't just wake up one morning with an epiphany saying, hey, you know what? I know everything about football plays now. I know everything about how to run an offense. Dan Campbell showed him everything. He taught him everything. Since Dan Campbell got here, he's taught all of his. This has been his locker room. This has been his coaching staff. All of these coaches are former players. All of these coaches were brought in by him specifically. Give Dan Campbell his damn props, because he deserves it. Everybody's slandering Campbell and all mad that we lost Ben Johnson. Who cares if we lost Ben Johnson? He's going to go make another Ben Johnson. He's known for the last 2 years. Ben Johnson is probably going to leave. He's probably going to become a head coach. He's probably been developing his next Ben Johnson for the last 2 years behind the scenes. We don't even know it. So whoever gets promoted, no matter who it is, be happy we have them and be optimistic that we have them.
That was the most positive thing I've ever heard you say in my life, by the way. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said there. I think we got to be grateful. Not only we should be grateful for Ben Johnson and what he's done, but also, especially if it is an internal hire, be thankful, because whoever comes up, and I hope it's an internal hire.
Has to be. At least on offense. Defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator, I hope it's Robert Saleh or Shepard or Reed Shepard, but
Reed Shepard.
Did I say Reed Shepard?
The Houston Rockets rookie guard.
Oops.
Calvin Shepard.
Calvin Shepard.
Looks
Thank you.
way different.
Yeah, I'm very aware. It's 8:03 a.m. and it's cold.
We got to move on too.
But you should be thankful for whatever we have. Dan Campbell, he's a good coach. Sure, we had a bad season 4 years ago, but who cares? Dan Campbell knows how to build his coordinators, and I'm not worried. To the bandwagons that say you are worried, hop off the bandwagon.
Don't be worried in this team. This team's proven they can
especially if the offensive coordinator is an internal hire, that's a home run regardless. I don't care if it's Antoine Randall. I don't care if it's Mark Brunell. I don't even care if it's Teddy Bridgewater. If it's an internal hire, I'm happy with the ROC.
Yep. All right, so Ben Johnson, new coach of the Bears. Aaron Glenn is a strong favorite.
He's
to be
going
the
to
Jets
the
head coach. The Jets head coach. He's practically the Jets head coach right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Basically. It's just not been announced. But it's not official, but it's...
I think he'll turn a 180 and go to the Saints.
Well,
it'll be interesting.
He's
to see
favored
what he
right now
does.
to be the Jets head coach, and that is the days of our Lions coaching staff. Coming up right after this break, we have Pistons, we have Red Wings, and we have conference championships. We got to hit them quick. We will. You're watching Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. We'll be back right after this.
Sports cards, signed jerseys, signed helmets, and more. Miller's Sports Cards and Collectibles is your one-stop shop for all things the hobby. Make sure to check them out down Mission Street in Mount Pleasant, right past Meyer. Miller's Sports Cards and Collectibles. Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. Join Michael Rosenkranz,
Sports take precedence over academics.
I agree, but
Ryan Donnelly,
Corbin Burns, who is their big-ticket J13 item. Scooble is with us. Scooble's our big-ticket
Did
J1.
you just call Tarek Scooble James?
and Anthony Schulte.
I have an issue.
You have.
There is no break. It's a constant grind. It's an unbreakable cycle.
Yeah, it's...
As they navigate through the Detroit sports landscape. Live Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 a.m. on 101.1 The Beat in Mount Pleasant and at 11 a.m. on YouTube. Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk.
Welcome back, Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. Ryan Donnelly, Michael Rosenkranz, and Anthony Schulte here with you on a Wednesday, and we have some positive remarks to have. The Detroit Pistons have won a basketball game.
The only winners in Detroit right now.
They're the only, in the last week, we're the only team to win a sports game, by the way. Detroit Pistons beat the Rockets 107-96. Cade Cunningham, as we mentioned, 32 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. And Jalen Duren, 16 points, 14 rebounds, 8 of 8. This team played a complete basketball game, defeated the number 2 team in the West, the Rockets, and Cade's getting some national TV love. He was just on the NBA and TNT yesterday. Last week he was on the NBA Today. Mark Spears on ESPN said, hey, this kid should be in MVP considerations. He's number 6 on the NBA's MVP ladder. So Cade Cunningham's getting that national love. He's leading this team, and this team just, compared to last year, looks so much different. You know, in the face of adversity, you lose 2 straight. First time in a month and a half, you lose 2 straight, and you come out and you whoop a rival in the Rockets on the road. After what happened in that earlier game. Just a great performance from Detroit.
I think the Pistons look great. I mean, you should hand Cade Cunningham the MIP. You should hand Isaiah Stewart the Defensive Player of the Year, and you should hand J.B. Bickerstaff Coach of the Year. This team looks completely different. It's because the roles have been figured out. Yes. Every single
we have
role.
We have some adults in the room here.
Exactly.
Shout out J.B. Bickerstaff, Luke Walton, Jarrett Jack, Fred Vinson. I think I'm missing a couple more head coach or assistant coches.
Those are the main
4. It's the Fantastic Four. I'll call them the Fantastic
Luke
Four.
Walton's been a great addition. I've heard some great things about Luke Walton.
Luke Walton is good as an assistant. As a head coach, I don't think so. But as an assistant coach,
He's got a great basketball brain. He's just like his dad.
It's like in the NFL. You could be a good coordinator, but you couldn't be a good head coach.
We'll see with Ben Johnson too.
Ben Johnson.
We'll see. Can he lead? Can he lead men? We'll see.
Josh McDaniels. Anyways, I think Luke Walton is a home run head assistant coach hire. Man, I said at the beginning of the year, J.B. Bickerstaff was a home run head coaching hire, and it's proved.
Grand slam.
22-21, The only team in Detroit right now that's over 500, active Detroit team that's over 500. Cade Cunningham's playing like an MVP.
Oh, and I'm so happy. People didn't believe in Cade. People wanted to forget about Cade. And you know what? All of us Pistons fans, we believed in him. Oh, and it feels so good to see his push right now.
Now, my question to you is, and then let's make this quick. You brought this up on Monday when we were watching the Rockets game together. Do we re-sign Malik Beasley? And I'll go first. The way that he's playing right now, I don't think so. If he keeps it up, no.
Can I counter that?
You may.
I think yes. Think about his locker room presence right now. He has revitalized his locker room. Think about that post-game speech. He comes over, doesn't give a you-know-what about the FCC. And he's just like, vote for expletive Cade Cunningham, man. Vote for him. Vote for him.
Excuse my French.
Yeah, excuse my French. He is the life of this locker room, we can say. He loves all of his teammates. He loves being here. That's the main thing. He loves being here. He's still averaging 16 a game. He had a decent game against the Rockets. He had a little bit of a rough stretch, in the past couple weeks. But you're going to have your rough stretches. We're all human. Mm-hmm. I think if he can bounce back and put it back together and still shoot 40% on the year, 40%, not under 40% like he is career-wise, 38.7%, 40% from three this year, I think you re-sign him. He's earned it. He loves Detroit. He's the perfect player when he's shooting well. He's had his struggles, but
can I counter that?
Yes.
I think he's been on a slump, especially in 2025. Especially like the first 3 months of the season, he's looked fantastic. And I love Malik Beasley. He's my Piston. He's my guy, and we all know this. But I think he's been sloppy the past couple games.
Yeah.
If he keeps it up, sure, maybe. I mean, his locker room presence, you cannot deny, is fantastic.
You can't replicate it.
You cannot replicate it. You can see in videos on social media and on Pistons.com that he's a locker room leader. Yeah. He's the guy that we needed in the locker room. On the court, for the past couple weeks, he hasn't looked too great. He's thrown a couple meatballs. I think his inside scoring has improved greatly.
Yes.
I think his 3-point shooting. I think someone prompted him to score more inside with layups and mid ranges. Yeah. For the 3-ball, he's not shooting as much, which is kind of lowering his percentage. But I wouldn't expect Malik Beasley to not participate in the 3-point contest this year.
Yeah.
Same with maybe Tim Hardaway. But I mean, Malik Beasley, I think, is taking a step back. But it's kind of biting him in the butt a little bit. But if he keeps it up this way basketball-wise, I don't think you do. But no matter what, he's been amazing to this team.
Michael, real quick.
You need a locker room presence kind of guy in Malik Beasley to try and continue to propel this Pistons team forward. Pistons are already doing better than what they did last year.
100%.
Which is so refreshing to see, so relieving to see. And now they got a contest tonight against the Hawks.
Yes.
Hawks open up as 2.5-point favorites. So
Zachary Richichet is out.
So should be a close game. Yeah.
Is Jalen Johnson out?
He's a game-time decision. Same with Trae Young. And Larry Nance Jr. and Cody Zeller are out. Trae Young's probable.
I saw Trae Young's probable and Jalen Johnson was questionable.
I think if one of those three players, Richichet, Johnson, and Young are out, it's a pretty easy win.
Both teams are 3-2 in their last 5.
And we have 55% chance to win.
So it's going to be a close game. Yeah. Pistons got to try and make it 2 in a row tonight. It's so good to see just a refreshed look of the Pistons going forward.
It is.
And just got to continue what you're doing.
Got to continue. So, like you said, Hawks tonight. It was 7:30 tip-off?
7:30.
FanDuel Sports Detroit. Almost said Fox Sports Detroit. Oh, boy.
Those were the good old days.
Yep, the Pistons. They play tonight. We're going to enjoy it. The Red Wings. 3-game losing skid. Boys, I watched a little bit of yesterday's game. I watched the Panthers game. I haven't watched much Red Wings hockey, so take it away really quickly.
Let's do it.
Let's do this, Ryan.
Go ahead, Michael.
Alrighty, so not a good performance against Philly. You outshot the Flyers considerably, I think, after 2 periods. Well, not really considerably. I think it was 14-11 shots after the second period. But call it what it is. You knew that NHL, another tough league to win in. There's parity in the NHL. You knew the Red Wings were going to lose some games going forward. You
can't win all of them.
Exactly.
Especially when you're only scoring 1 goal in each of the last 3 games you've lost.
That's true.
Exactly.
5-1 against the Lightning, 4-1 versus Stars, 2-1 versus the Flyers, 3 combined goals. That's unacceptable if you're trying to win hockey games.
Exactly. Red Wings are back to 500. Got to try and figure it out. Rough road trip for the Red Wings. Only scored 3 points.
It started off positively.
It
Beating
really
Florida
did, beating the defending Stanley Cup champions, which I was shocked by.
on their home ice.
On their home ice in Sunrise. So it was huge to see that. But now Red Wings have fallen 3 straight. You return home Thursday, which is, tomorrow.
Yeah, this week's gone by.
I'm
fast.
getting my days mixed up like crazy. They play Montreal, who's on the up and up. They're 24-19-4. And against opponents in the Atlantic Division, Montreal has a pretty decent record, actually. So it's a divisional matchup, and you got to try and rebound at home. You're going to have the home crowd there with you, and rough stretch for the Red Wings, but I think Todd McClellan, from knowing what we know about him, he holds his players accountable, and he's going to get his guys back in gear going forward for the most part, and hopefully the Red Wings can get a win and end this 3-game losing streak, because in the last weekend or so, there's been a lot of losing in Detroit sports, and it's left a bad taste in a lot
What
of
happened
mouths.
last season towards the end of the year? Not around this. It's a little later in the year, obviously a little bit more close to playoff season, but what happened? 7-game losing streak.
Yeah,
Killed our chances.
that's
Killed
right.
us. Can't let that happen again. You
Nope.
can't let this thing get past 5 games, or else it's gonna be really. You've climbed all the way back. You've climbed back into like that. In the bubble, it's more realistic than not to make the wild card. But you're just digging yourself another hole. You can't let that
Exactly.
happen. You have to get a win coming up. Ryan, real quick.
Obviously, really tough road trip. Losing to the Lightning, the Stars, and the Flyers, who are really, really good teams.
Mm-hmm.
You got a 3-game home stretch, though, against the Canadiens, the Lightning, again, and the LA Kings.
You have to win one. You
Gotta
have to
win.
win one.
Especially
At least one.
the Canadiens game. My parents will be there. I mean, it's tough to win in this league. Like Michael said, there is a lot of parity in the NHL. I think this team's flaws are showing a little bit, especially on this road trip. Like Anthony said, 3 goals in 3 games is unacceptable.
And also what Isaac said, new head coach can't hide your flaws forever.
Nope.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
you
Friend
can't.
of the show, Isaac.
Yes. Your head coach can't hide your flaws forever. McClellan does a good job at holding his players accountable. I think he's really the only coach that takes to the media and holds his player accountable, and I love that from McClellan. Not much I could really say. Defenses looked poor. Soderblom played fine yesterday. He made his debut, his season debut. Elmer Soderblom. He's a tall guy.
6'8".
6'8".
6'8". He's
Hey,
he's a big
we need
dude.
we need a power forward. Oos. We need a power forward.
Can you imagine Elmer Soderblom
Can you
playing-
switch to the other locker room for a couple minutes?
Can you imagine Soderblom playing power forward for the Pistons?
Yeah, Soderblom. I didn't really watch. My friend of the show, Isaac, and I watched the last 4 minutes of the third period. Didn't look too great. We dominated time of possession though. All you got to do is just clean up defense, shoot the puck more. I mean, you've already been.
They had their chances in overtime.
exactly.
I watched overtime last night. They had their chances.
They had all.
and at the end of the third period too, you had your chances.
You had your
Exactly.
chances. I mean, you just got smarter scoring opportunities, better defense, better pizza, Papa John's.
Papa John's or Little Caesars.
The Little
That's where we
Caesars.
play.
Yeah, they're good.
All right, well, the Red Wings, they play Montreal tomorrow night, Thursday night, trying to break this little 3-game skid they have. NFL Conference Championships are here, and it's either it's going to be the happy side of the rainbow on Monday, or it's going to be the dark and sad side of the rainbow on Monday. It's Washington and Philly, and then Buffalo and KC on Sunday. Washington, Philly at 3 o'clock. Buffalo, KC directly after at 6:30. It's going to be a fun day of football.
Yeah.
It's going to also be a stressful day of football because I really don't want Kansas City winning that ball game.
Oh my gosh!
No, me
America
neither.
is rooting for the Bills.
Exactly.
So I want to do. We don't have the picks obviously, but I obviously we should do picks.
Yeah, why not?
Let's pick
Why
them.
not? For old
So-
time's sake.
Washington and Philly. I'm assuming Philadelphia's the favorite. I'm going with the ladies and gentlemen. Upset of the week. We're bringing it back. Washington Commanders. They are going to win and make it to Super Bowl 59. 59.
59.
59. If it was 49, that would be a long time ago. Super Bowl 59. Washington is going to take down Philly in Philly. Jaden Daniels continuing his magical rookie. Maybe one of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen.
Yeah. No doubt. This is a really good one. I want Washington to win it all. I really, really do. It's going to be tough to stop Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
And
especially with that run defense.
especially with Washington's rush defense. Give me Philadelphia, but I will not be sad if Philly loses.
Ryan.
I want to hop on your bandwagon really, really bad. I love Jaden Daniels. I love Dan Quinn. I love what they're doing down in Washington. It sucks that he beat my team. I'm going to have to take the Eagles on this one. I mean, you can't stop Saquon Barkley. I think Saquon Barkley, that's another good story to talk about. I really, really want the Commanders to win. I'm going to say Eagles by 2 scores.
All right. And then we have Buffalo and Kansas City. I'm going to go with Buffalo here. Casey's probably going to win. Let's be honest with ourselves here. It's the refs and Taylor Swift's dark voodoo magic against the friendship
and I'm sure they're
spirit.
at Arrowhead, right?
Yeah. And the spirit and of friendship with the Buffalo Bills. The power of friendship will power them through the Kansas City Chiefs for sure, right? Now, I'm going with the Bills. Josh Allen, please save America. You have a chance. You have a chance to be the most loved man in America right now. Take up that opportunity. Go Bills.
Michael?
I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm hopping on the bandwagon because I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs get away with beneficial calls, and it's a broken record. You guys hear about it so often, so sorry if we sound complaining, but it's not okay.
The most
how much
boring,
the
the most
away
boring.
Give me the
dominance.
Bills.
It's boring dominance. That's what it is. Ryan, real quick.
Kansas City, the weather on Sunday, it's going to be a high of 33. And a
Ooh,
low of
that's balmy. Bring out the shorts.
and a
Bring
low,
out the
and a low of 21 degrees. Probably feels like negative a billion.
Now that is what I like to call a toasty day.
You know, I want to. Here's the thing: you picked the Chiefs, right?
I picked the Bills.
You guys picked the Bills.
Bills.
Unfortunately, I'm going to take a 180. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Smart man. You're better.
Yeah,
you're a smarter
fair
man
enough.
than me.
It's voodoo magic, and the NFL's a business, so they want their most marketable team in the Super Bowl. Somehow, Chiefs.
How are they still the most marketable team?
Chiefs, Bills, NFC Championship Part 20, AFC Championship Part 20 gajillion.
Yeah.
I gotta take the Chiefs. I'm not rooting for the Chiefs. I'm hard rooting the Bills.
Yeah.
Shout out Derek Steele. Oh, we don't have time to call him.
No time. If the Bills win, he will be joining the program.
Yes. If the Bills do win this weekend, he will be on our Super Bowl extravaganza.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
I got the Chiefs. Voodoo magic.
The power of the Fumblerooski. All right.
I don't want the Chiefs to win. But they're gonna win because of Taylor Swift and dark magic. And I'm sorry that we sound negative, but it's the truth.
It's the truth.
The NFL is a business, and they want their most marketable team in the Super Bowl, and they're gonna win again. 3-peat.
All right, so it's going to be a really, really fun day of football on Sunday. Well, that's all we have for today's show. Thank you for tuning in. Card Guys, Season 4, Episode 3 on 101.1 The Beat and YouTube. Tune in Monday as we recap these NFL championship games. Also check in on our good friends at the Pizza Oven, the Pistons, and the Red Wings. For my good buddies, Ryan Donnelly and Michael Rosenkranz, I'm Anthony Schulte saying so long, everybody.
Love you, Mom and Dad. Happy birthday to both Papa and my mother.